What's up, people? Back with another reaction, back with some more Aha, and we're continuing through the second disc of this 20th anniversary edition of Analogue. And the tune this time around is an early version of Case Closed on Silver Shore, a non-album track. I don't know if it was technically a single itself or if it was a B-side, but yes, from the era of Analogue. And yeah, what I remember about the original, which admittedly it's not one that I've re-listened to an enormous amount. I do think I've re-listened to it a few times, but not as much as the album proper, Analogue. I remember it has a sort of mellow groove to it. There's some echoic sounds, and even almost like a respiration, like the track is sort of breathing, like sonically or rhythmically. I remember there's a line, something about like a jealous rage, like there's a reference to a boyfriend and a jealous rage. So yes, ultimately this will be interesting in that I have a sense of the song, but I don't know it, front to back the way I do some tracks on the actual album Analogue. So let's hear it. This is an early version of Case Closed on Silver Shore, taken from the second disc of the 20th anniversary edition of Analogue.
Stain on the ottoman. Here's a slug in the plaster wall. Here's a glass with a fingerprint left out in the entrance hall. Left out in the hallway. Case closed on Silver Shore. Can't prove a thing. Case closed on Silver Shore. Can't prove a thing. Here's a room showing signs of struggle. Here's a tear in the victim's shirt. Here's a plate with a chalky substance, like a footprint in the dirt. Left out in the hallway. Case closed on Silver Shore. Can't prove a thing. Case closed on Silver Shore. Can't prove a thing. I wouldn't put it past the neighbor. I wouldn't put it past the maid. I wouldn't put it past the boyfriend. Yeah, he do it in a jealous rage. Left out in the hallway. Case closed on Silver Shore. Can't prove a thing. Case closed on Silver Shore. Can't prove a thing. Case closed on Silver Shore. Can't prove a thing. Case closed on Silver Shore. Can't prove a thing. Case closed on Silver Shore. On Silver Shore. Can't make it stay. Case closed.
It's interesting. Like in one respect, it feels like it fades. There's still more to go. It feels like the song could go longer there. Number two, it felt like the musical sonics faded more than the voices. So like at the end, it was almost like it was becoming an a cappella. I don't remember if the release track at the time ended in the same way, like just with a fade out like that. Overall, I'm guessing the lyrics are identical. That's pretty much, without remembering a lot of the specifics, that is, I think, the same as the release track. Musically, it's a bit more different than, not necessarily than I expected, but more so, I think, than the vocal delivery from Morton or the lyrics, as far as I can tell. Meaning, it has a bit more of a, I don't know if stripped down is the right word, but it feels a bit simpler sonically, and it felt like there was a bit more of like a funk and or jazz flavor to it, like a bit less of a, just synth rock tune and a bit more of a funky sound, especially in some of the bass work there. And then even the keyboard bits felt like they had slightly more of a jazz feel to them. So maybe that's just in my brain, but yeah, the vibe of the tune felt different, even if sonically it wasn't terribly different than the eventual released version. I really do love it though. Like I forgot, it's like a mystery story. Again, it's like, it could be the neighbor, it could be the maid. I wouldn't put it past any of them. I wouldn't put it past the boyfriend who might have done it in a jealous rage, and there's a tear in the victim's shirt, and there's a chalky substance on the table, and maybe something happened out in the hallway. It's really like we're in the middle of this detective investigation, and there's some physical evidence, but nothing clear cut indicating who the culprit was. So yeah, I really do enjoy the way that one plays out, like a mystery scene in a detective story. Really, really cool. And again, Morton sounds great on the vocals, and a couple moments where he flourishes a bit higher and does a bit of an extension. Nothing crazy in that regard, at least on Morton's scale, but I feel like he does exactly what he needs to do here. And I don't think the vocal performance is terribly different from the one on the release track. So let me know if I'm wrong about that. But yeah, I'm just enjoying going through these special early versions and the material that is new for this particular anniversary release. So in a moment, I shall be back with another live performance from a-ha, so I will see you for that. Peace.